Hi everyone, welcome back to The Learning Gardener, and today we are going to be doing some garden bed tidy up and cleaning some garden beds out. The main aim of today's video is to test the new camera and the new microphone, although unfortunately I deleted the intro I filmed. So, whoops! But please do let me know if you find the sections of this video where I use the mic better than normal, or if you notice any differences with the camera. I'd really appreciate that if you let me know below in the comments. Filming this video and making mistakes with the microphone and learning how the new camera works was a great experience, but a little bit challenging at times when you had so much work to do. There are so many beets that have been left wanting some attention in many beds, and I just totally forgot about them, and it's time to deal with some of them and try and preserve some of them, or at the very least roast them for dinner tonight. I am also pulling out onions, which I have long neglected, and doing some weeding. A lot of this stuff has had to sit and wait for us to get to it until we finished unpacking and finished dealing with the immediate building related issues of moving into this new house. So while we've done a lot of work together, there's still just so much to do. The other thing that we've got to try and do today is clear all the marigolds out of the beds, because number one, I am sick of seeing a field of yellow and orange, and particularly an orange I don't like, and they are dropping seeds everywhere. So the beds are just getting even fuller of marigolds, if that is even possible. This is my herb bed, and it has been super neglected. All the silver beets are going to seed, so I'm just going to pop them out and pop them in the compost bin so that they can break down and make some beautiful new soil. I think when the puppies were wrestling, they flopped this rosemary over, so it's time to stake that back up and just get this bed more organized and fill in the empty spaces. There are a lot of herbs like this time that will need some taming, but my freeze dryer is not working at the moment. It seems to be making a funny sound. I think when I moved, the removalists were perhaps not as gentle with it as I had hoped, and so I have a tech support call in 2 days. So when and if we can get my freeze dryer working again, this stuff will all get a haircut and get freeze dried. As I was going around the garden beds, I was trying to deal with the marigolds in every single bed. I didn't want to leave some behind and then just have seeds to deal with everywhere. And I was surprised by how many flowers were ready to drop seeds as I deadheaded them, and I made a mental note that next year I am not planting so many marigolds, because my previous experience was that they're only teeny tiny little weedy plants, and these ones have all turned into giant beasts. I definitely worked on creating a bucket full of deadheaded seed heads, and everything else got chopped up to put in the compost, because marigolds can help with killing nematodes, so that you don't have nematodes when you pull out, for example, your tomatoes, and that will affect your crop. So I thought, well, I'll keep all the marigolds, and this will help bulk up the compost and create more compost as we go along, because I certainly don't have enough to fill all the beds that I have, and I would like to produce as much as I humanly can. So as I was clearing out this bed, I was clearing out the corn stalks. That did produce some corn, but I didn't really get any of it because the bush rats got to it first, and I was chopping up the marigold greens. In most of the beds, I left the marigolds in place. I just cut them really harshly down quite low, so it would take them a while to grow back, so that I didn't have to do this again within 3 or 4 weeks. Some of them in this bed I did actually pull the root and all, but for the most part, if I didn't want the marigold to grow back, I would cut it right down at soil level and just allow it to compost in place. I have cleared out this bed. There is one butternut pumpkin plant in that corner that's kind of limping on, and some of these bean plants look like they're all right, don't they, Reffy? So I'm going to leave them, and obviously the marigolds will regrow. Unfortunately, I wasn't fast enough to deadhead some of them, so I do have a whole bunch of marigold seeds in here, so I'm sure I will end up with more. The reason I planted so many marigolds was, number one, because when I've planted marigolds historically, they've only been little plants. These are beasts, but also because I had a tango with a black snake, and I heard that marigolds help deter snakes because they have quite a strong scent. So that's why I planted a ton of marigolds, particularly in this bed, because I was hoping that the the pumpkins would sprawl everywhere, and that then the marigolds would give us some protection from maybe snakes hiding underneath the pumpkin canopy. So we'll see if my spaghetti squash, which I have up on the stairs, can live a happy life in here. What I might not do this time is not plant them in the corners, because I think the corners dry out faster, and that is possibly also why the pumpkins did not take off. But all I can do is try again. Once I go in for lunch, what I will do is head down to the nursery and get a little bit of compost to put on top of each of the garden beds that I've cleared out. My compost is not ready yet. Sorry about the background noise. I've got Airbnb people next door to me, and they are making quite a bit of noise. But I have 4 big compost bins, and they are not ready yet, probably because I just keep adding to them. But I've got 2 now that I've stopped putting things in, but really I probably need more. But yeah, my compost is not producing fast enough. So I have to go and get some to add on. Hi, bird. Hello, darling. Thanks for my kisses. So on this bed we have got some silver beet, which is struggling in the heat of the sun, but it needs at least a tidy up, and we have some more corn that was sadly eaten by the bush rats, so we're going to deal with that. And the other thing that I'm going to work on is, as I go around, I'm going to prune some of the other flowers. Some of the calendula have got seeds as well, so they need to be pruned because I don't want to have calendula everywhere. But I also would like to have a little bouquet inside, and I have a lot of straw flowers that are ready. And one of the things I really wanted to do in time for Christmas, obviously that did not work out, was to have all these straw flowers in bloom and to make a wreath of straw flowers for the front door, but didn't work out. But I would like to start drying some more straw flowers so that maybe next year I can do the Christmas tree covered in dried flowers again, because that was kind of awesome. Anyway, let's get to this bed now. Look, Birdie, there's one that the bush rats didn't get to. Another one, that's exciting. There were 3 kernels, there were 3 cobs that the bush rats didn't get to. One I think is going to be too little for anything significant, but let's have a little look. Oh my God! So it is not totally fertilized, so the little top is still tiny, but that is totally edible. I'm so excited. We actually got some corn. Okay, so let's have a look at these ones. Oh, this one has a caterpillar in there, which is not ideal, but otherwise is a pretty decent corn cob. Why do I keep calling him a corn kernel? And the last one, ew, similarly has a caterpillar, but is equally edible, which is pretty exciting. This is the last garden bed to clean out. I just went inside and had a little break because the bees were still all over these marigolds, and I just wanted to give them a chance to finish up before I clean out this bed. But I cannot believe that this has taken all day. I also cannot believe how much marigolds just spread their seeds really easily, so in the future I'm going to have to be really, really careful. I've unearthed a fair bit of vegetable growth, which has been great. Found a lot of tomatoes that were ready to be harvested, but also discovered that I'm going to have to be much, much more vigilant in the future with marigolds and deadheading them earlier on in the piece, because right at this present moment my compost bins are absolutely overflowing, and the garbage bin out the front is overflowing with deadheaded marigolds. As pathetic as it is, my hands are really, really sore from doing this. I've got this huge blister forming here, so I don't know how much planting I'm actually going to get done today in terms of planting the fruit trees, but I would like to get the orange done. It's already 6 p.m. and thanks to the summer sun we still have daylight, which is really nice, but the puppies will want to be fed soon, so I will have to wrap up soon. But I've left a lot of the marigolds so that they will regrow over time. They won't regrow super quickly, but of course they will regrow, and I'll just deal with them as they pop up. But they're obviously like a really great flower for a companion plant and for pest resistance, and we've had extremely low pest pressure considering how big this garden is and the issues I've previously had in other gardens. I have seen a few squash bugs around today, but I'm wondering if just the amount of marigolds is the answer, or maybe it's just that this was previously a neglected garden so the bugs hadn't found it. But anyway, I'm going to turn off the mic because my neighbours turned on the music, and I don't want you guys to have that as a horrible background noise. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out with us in the garden today. I'm going to get the rest of this done, maybe plant the orange tree, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching.